r/ask Reddit. What are some little known relationship green flags? I feel like there's a lot of detailed examples that largely boil down to two things: empathy and emotional maturity. It's sad that those two are so often lacking, that people become surprised by it. Yet I wonder how rare it is to actually find these two very important attributes. From my experience, the more damaged you are, the less you recognize them. It depends. In my case, I am much more emotionally mature and empathetic because I am damaged. But here's the big difference. I was damaged and now I am mentally healthy and happy. But going through depression, heroin addiction, and suicidal ideation made me a better person in the long run. It allowed me to grow and learn how to be emotionally stable. Many people teeter on that edge of just getting by, so they never actually improve. But I was so far gone that I was forced to either die or improve. So I improved. Being able to emotionally connect even after an argument or during. I have friends that love having intellectual battles between themselves. It's how they connect to each other and express their love. I can relate to this. I enjoy having intellectual arguments. Would you say you love being mentally challenged? Absolutely. During the beginning of our relationship, whenever my partner and I would argue, he would try to hold my hand, rub my arm, or hug me as we talked. When I'm wound up, I feel like I need space to think, like physical space. So I would always push him away. We'd always get to a point in our arguments where he would just shut down or walk out of the apartment, and I couldn't figure out why. I thought that he just didn't care enough to talk these things out with me. Finally I learned that physical touch is a big part of his love language, and that was what he needed during after our fights to feel emotionally connected with me. Since then, when one of us gets upset, we hold hands and talk things out. It's a weird small thing that's made a huge difference in our relationship. The ability to coexist in very companionable silence. A friend of mine once said, when silence is not cringe, the friendship is real. Honesty, genuine interest in each other's hobbies. Don't have to do them, but at least support it. Strong communication. You feel like you're hanging out with your best friend, except you wanna smash. Bold of you to assume I don't wanna smash my best friend. Smashing the homies ain't gay if you are wearing socks. When your so takes criticism from you seriously without immediately trying to turn it back on you. If the converse is also true, you two stand a great chance of going the distance. I think it's important to realize that this is where you can be out the gate, or it's somewhere you can get to. My wife reacts very poorly to criticism. Not because she can't stand to have flaws in her behavior pointed out, but because she feels that when I criticize her actions, I'm telling her that she's garbage, and in a day or two I'll be telling her to move out. That's a direct effect of her upbringing. And what's important is that she recognizes the issue for what it is, and we talk about it. It's made us so much better. This is amazing advice for any of the green flags in this thread. People come with their own experiences, but they aren't set in stone. Honest communication and working together on challenges is huge. Listening to you and remembering the things you've said. Back when me and my boyfriend started dating, he'd sometimes bring up things that I've said before. My favorite foods, candies, etc. Made me super happy and could tell he genuinely cared. My ex once tagged me in a post about a strawberry shortcake birthday cake. She forgot about it and nobody had ever done anything nice for. So she was blown away when I bought one for her birthday almost a full year later. A few months later she was eating a maple bar donut and casually mentioned she wished she could have a whole maple donut cake. So the next year on her birthday I took the day off of work, and when she came home I had baked a whole maple donut cake. I'm not a baker, but that cake was amazing. Of course she still thought I didn't love her because I never did anything for her. She said that kind of stuff was baseline relationship stuff and I never went above and beyond for her. Poor girl was so broken she couldn't accept love. My last boyfriend only remembered things if he could throw them in my face at the most inappropriate times to win entirely unrelated arguments, and otherwise never remembered anything about me. God, how I've missed sanity. Non-sexual compliments. You taste good. You smell different when you're awake. Laughter. And also, I've been with my partner for 40 years this month, and I still smile when I see him across a room. He still makes me laugh and my heart soars when I think of him. Awesome. And congratulations to you both. Been with my wife almost 10 years now, and she always tells me how she loves that I make her laugh at least once every day. I hope she still says the same thing 30 years from now. Laughing is probably the best thing you can do in the world and my favorite thing. One of my HS teachers told me if you can't find something to laugh about each day, what's the point of waking up, and that always stuck with me. If it's a chore you both hate, you do it together. My late husband and I both hated folding laundry, but it had to be done, so we always did it together. Made the chore less of a pain. My dad did that with us growing up. Anytime he needed to run errands or do housework, he would ask me or my brother to keep him company and talk to him. He said that made it was less about being bored and annoyed by doing chores and more happy hanging out and bonding time with his kids. It was always fun too. He genuinely did like spending time with us and joking around. We were never super close because he was pretty strict, but I always liked that quality time with him. I try to get my kids to help. My youngest daughter loves when the tools come out. Her big sister is a decent painter. I try to get them to help cook too. Stuff takes longer to get done, but hopefully they absorb some of the stuff we're doing. It's a pretty convoluted story, but I was dating a guy, had to drive his car to get him from a situation, and wrecked his car due to mechanical failure, and called my mama to come get me so we could go get him, rescued him, then had to tell him I'd wrecked his car. His first question, "Are you okay?" My mom overheard. That one's a keeper. I've told this story before, but a week or two into dating my boyfriend, I was driving to work and one of the wheels fell off my car on the highway. I pulled over to the side of the road and called my boss and a tow truck, and then texted my new beau just for comfort. He asked where on the highway I was and said he'd be right there. Without hesitating, when he showed up and ran across the busy highway and scooped me up into a hug, I felt so loved and safe and thought, oh shit, this could be the one. And what now? It's been 4 years and we're very in love. They trust you to stay at their apartment alone. Yeah, I thought I was the only one. The first time my partner said I could stay at his place in the morning to sleep in when he ran errands made me feel so good. When they do this, you gotta promptly steal everything they own. You recommend them a book or movie and they actually take the time to check it out. Once I dated a guy who would lie about watching things I recommended. I didn't figure it out at first, but when he told me that I felt so heartbroken. Why? Yeah, I just broke up with a person who would sometimes tell me, yeah, I lied about that just to shut you up when I would bring up a situation or something. What a jerk. If she shows equal interest in hanging out with you, if it feels like you're dragging them into going on a date, they're really not into you, no matter what they may say. Besides, let's be honest, wouldn't you rather date someone who is as excited and interested in seeing you and you are in seeing them? Exactly this. I've instantly lost attraction to a few girls because they were just so fake in terms of interest. People can act all they want, but their interest in hanging out is a clear way to tell if they really care. Came home from working a 12-hour shift one night to a full dinner with my favorite dessert. Never had a girlfriend just decide to cook me a full meal for me to come home to like that. You don't feel like you're competing for their time. You're just loved. Even when they are busy, you don't have to worry. People think you need to spend all your time with someone. You don't. But the feeling of being loved removes any jealousy or insecurities. You just know it's good. Genuine support in your life goals, even if that means you two will have to go long distance for a while or will have to have conflicting work schedule or it will make your relationship harder in some way. If they love you and want you to be happy, they will be genuinely interested in what you want to do and will try to support you to do that in whatever way they can. They won't hold you back in any way. This is something me and my so have been facing something similar to this recently. He's just graduated and is looking for a job. As much as I want him to stay close by so we don't have to do long distance for any more time than we have to, I'm going home for the summer. But if he gets a job the other side of the country, I won't stop him, and as long as I'm around I'll help him pack up. When you're on a road trip and your partner feeds you fries and helps you drink your soda or whatever, I think that's such a nice simple gesture of kindness. Yes, and there are many responsibilities being the co-driver. Extra points. Very subtle things that show they're a genuine person. Remembering things that you've told them and following up is definitely a good sign. I'm always surprised if someone I haven't talked to in a while remembers a couple basic things I mentioned to them in passing, like what I do for a living, what my biggest interests are. I love the fact that they're not bothered by the number of bodies buried in my basement. It feels easy, effortless, unforced, natural. This is a good sign of a real connection. Compromise feels like second nature. You both breath thoughtfulness and consideration towards each other. You figure things out together. You see each other, respect each other, and appreciate each other. Maybe this is just me, but when someone doesn't care too much about people's opinions of them, like when they aren't afraid to act goofy in front of people they don't know, I absolutely love people that don't take themselves too seriously. If you two are able to compromise, remembering things you said, like foods you don't like or topics you are passionate about. My wife says the biggest early test I passed was when we went to Goodwill together at the very start of everything. She was looking at some wedding dresses on the rack and asking my opinion. I told her not to bother. Our family business is basically tailoring. Costume shop where all the rentals are handmade in shop by a certified grandmaster costumer. Yes, that's a thing. And we could make whatever she wanted to her exact requirements for a fraction of the price. Later on she told me it was a test to see if I'd run away screaming at the idea of getting married. Like nope. There's no point to me in dating if that isn't the end goal. We got married, and she got her custom made wedding dress for free because we already had the fabric she liked. On the other hand, all of those tests are a bit odd. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.